Today we were unpacking the data that we've accumulated over a year in terms of the air pollution or the hotspot air pollution, which is in Mpumalanga.
For our assessment, we used the latest satellite data that has only been available for the past year, and that allowed us to see in unprecedented detail the air pollutant sources around the world.
We're trying to show that Mpumalanga is actually one of the highest affected areas due to the emissions that's coming out of the power stations.
One of the first things that struck me when I was analyzing this data was how dramatic and how significant the hotspot in Mpumalanga in South Africa was in comparison with many other famously polluted areas around the world, including in China.
We've seen lived experiences of people in those areas who have actually had different type of ailments, especially respiratory infections, and we see the impact especially on your younger people, which is children, because they have a much weaker immune system. We see that amongst people who are sick, who are HIV, TB, etc.
It's estimated that in the most affected areas, air pollution shortens life expectancy by 3 years.
The GPs of the area, as well as, if you go to the clinics, they have quite a few examples of increases in the type of ailments that we've been talking about that's in our report. So basically, they also making the connection that it's because of the air quality in the area.
Overall, in South Africa, about 2,000 people die every year because of pollution from coal-fired power plants alone. The reason why we're seeing a major emission hotspot in the regions where Eskom has its coal-fired power plants is that these power plants are allowed to emit far more pollution per every ton of coal than coal plants in most other countries in the world.
Our campaigning is just not focused on the environment itself. It's also focused on my health and your health and the health of your children and my children and children to come. So we're saying that if the health element is not looked at, then we need to step up our campaign. And citizens also need to stand up and say that I stand for clean air.